Are you ready to enter the amazing world of releasemonitoring.org? I will be your guide, Michal Konecny. If it's too hard for you to pronounce, just call me Michael. I'm a wizard from the realm of releasemonitoring.org. For those of you who don't know what releasemonitoring.org does, it's actually taking the news from the outside world and trying to notify the gatekeepers of the packages in Fedora. So, I will move with you through the future of this amazing world. So, first, what is awaits us and what is covered by the mists of the future. Okay, so this is the bright future. This is the far away future. I hope we will get there someday, but it's too far. It's not something we will get today or in some visible future. But it looks nice. It is bright. It's taking everything. And this is what it should contain. It actually should be future that is more friendly to the user. It's more reliable right now than it is right now. It should have plenty of new features. Right, creating PRs instead of notifying only on Bugzilla. It should have automatic recognition of project from URL. You just give the URL of the project and it will actually fill your project in the release monitoring for you. Creating GitHub issues for FlatHub, this is something I want personally to add, but right now it's nothing like this in there. Reading libraries IO SSE, this is actually working, but it's not really reliable. Every project needs to be checked manually after getting it from libraries IO. I want to see nice statistics for Anitya and the new hotness, which are both part of the releasemonitoring.org. Anitya is taking care of the projects. It's scanning for new releases of the projects. It communicates with user. It communicates through API with some scripts. When it finds something new, it notifies the new hotness, and the new hotness is actually something that is creating right now. It's creating the notification in Bugzilla. Okay, this is how it should look. So it's not the current state. Okay, and one of the things is removing Bugzilla entirely from the workflow. If you will get PR directly to your package, it's not really needed to notify you on the Bugzilla. Okay, so now we look much closer, which is not that bright future. Oh, okay, which is not that bright, but it's still the future we could actually achieve. Okay, so first thing First thing is the maintenance mode. This is something we actually right now considering as a team. This should fix the most irritating issues we are facing right now. It's the GitHub rate limiting. We have around, I think, 15,000 projects on GitHub inside Anitya, and the rate limit is considered to be 5,000. I'm not sure how they call it, nodes or something like this, which is depleted pretty quickly. I actually did some optimization in the last release, which is actually checking only for the projects that weren't checked before. So it's not doing, previously it was doing every project in one run. Now it is some sort of queue. So when the project is actually checked, it isn't checked in the next run. There are still some optimization that could be done, and still we need to do it.
What does it actually mean in practice?
It means that we are checking the projects right now every hour or so, and the GitHub rate limit is reset at every hour. So you check like 2,000 projects, and then you hit the limit, and you actually can't check the 15,000 projects in one run. Yeah. Yeah. There, one of the things how we want to optimize it is to create, is to add, call it cursor. It's the cursor for the latest release. So we will continue from this release or this tag. So we will not actually get all the tags every time, because this is what is reaching the rate limit most often. Notification about more than one release at once. So right now we are notifying only about the latest release, which is not really something that some packagers want. They are actually have versions older. They want to get if there are more than one update before, in the meantime, they want to get notification about it, even if it's not the latest.
Even like if, for example, upstream
supports
free major version.
Yeah. This is exactly what I have in mind. Creation of duplicate projects. There are plenty of duplicate projects because the constraints are not really created. How to say it? Are bad right now. There are. We need some normalization because the constraint right now is set to the to home page of the project, and we have two same projects. One is with home page on GitHub. One is on the home page of project. Third is using HTTP instead of HTTPS and so on. So this is something we need to address.
There used to be times when the repository, when you asked for the new repository for Ferra, the project was created on release monitoring as well. Is it still true or not? Because if this was automated, then you somehow remove the chance to duplicate the project because you remove the manual.
I think this is not really used by now. I'm not.
It was
I'm not really sure because I didn't know there was something like this.
Well, I think this was in times when we were using package DB, so we moved to Pagure, this functionality was lost.
Oh, okay. I didn't know, but this actually we have some ideas how we want to address it, and we also want to actually let the users create their own environment they want to watch, because this is not only for Fedora. There are plenty of distributions that are using this. Not every of this distribution has some automation around it, but they are watching for new releases. I got email from someone from OpenSUSE who was interested to use it for the OpenSUSE automation. It was similar to ones we are using, so notify user that there is new version of the project. The next thing is reliability of the new hotness. The new hotness right now is working that it takes message from the Fedora messaging queue, which Fedora messaging made the new hotness more reliable because it's actually not missing any message. But there are things like if I hit some issue, the new hotness is fails and then tries to read the same message and fails again. So this is one of the things. The next thing is if we can't, for example, create Bugzilla issue, because there is, I'm not sure, there is temporary outage or something like this. We don't have any way to handle this. We actually only say that we can create and drop the message, which is not really what the users want. So we need to figure out how to handle these temporary issues that are only temporary locking the mechanism, some retry mechanism or something like this. Yeah, and the last one is notification settings read directly from this Git. This is the line between the new hotness and Pagure, because right now we have one repository on Pagure where the notification settings is set. There are plenty of users who don't know there is something like this. And in the future, it's actually, in Pagure, it's actually implemented but not deployed. But it's actually developed. You will see some drop-down menu, so you can actually set your notification settings directly on this Git repository. So you will have it where you expect it. At least I hope you expect it on this place. Okay, so next one. Next one is not really bright future of the Anitya, because this is one of the optional things we are considering. Because as a CP team, we have plenty of applications we are maintaining and we are taking care of. So one of the optional feature is to replace Anitya directly with libraries.io. This has some things that are pros, some cons. So yeah, it's about the consideration if this is a good approach. The pros are there will be less code base to maintain for us, which is not something that users are interested in, but it will help to make other applications we are maintaining better. the libraries I/O currently watches, I think, 500,000 projects. So there are plenty of projects you can actually see the updates for. What is cons is there is no authentication with FAS, but how I look at it, there only one who needs to actually authenticate is the one who wants to add some project to libraries I/O, which is the next issue. There is no option to add custom projects. You can't actually add any project you want, which is Anitya could provide you with the custom backend, which is allowing you to actually parse any web page and look for some regular expression. In libraries I/O, they only support some known repositories where the projects are created or maintained or developed or distributed, and only those are supported. So you actually can't add any project you want. I was surprised. I found one user is using Anitya to watch for a new version of his firmware for his laptop. He is just parsing the page and looking for the regex he wants to find. So I was surprised that somebody is using the Anitya like this, but it's possible.
So do you have any idea how many packages use this custom project definition?
There are many of them, but most of them are historical because the backends that Anitya support didn't have GitHub, for example, which is really big. So most of these packages are actually trying to parse GitHub, but this is not working anymore because they changed the HTML, so you can actually use it anymore. I look at them, and most of them aren't getting any new version. And the third one is there is no mapping to actually actual distribution for this Fedora, but I looked at the Anitya, and the Anitya has I think 30 distributions that is watching. Some of them are not distribution really, but are used as some group that is grouping the projects that are in there. So we will need to ask if the libraries I/O will support something like this.
Does libraries I/O support, for example, GitHub?
Yeah, GitHub is there, it's supported. They have, I don't know how much they have, I think 15 or so the sources you can use. There is Drupal, there is PyPy, there is GitHub, there is SourceForge, there is NPM. Yeah, there is plenty of them, but you can actually add something that is not fitting in the backends they have. Okay, so the last thing is the questions. So do you want to ask something about releasemonitoring.org or about Wizard or about Magic?
So the release monitoring uses regex developer as well, or is it connected somehow different? I'm not actually sure how this works.
Yeah. Okay, it is visible on this one. Okay, I will repeat the question. It is release monitoring is using rebase helper or how it is work. As you can see on this slide, the Anitya is actually the front end. There is when it checking for the new version by running there is service. It's not a cron job anymore. With the latest version, I change it to the service, so it's now much more reliable and use queues, so it's better. When it found some new version, it notifies the new hotness. The new hotness is the backend for this. It is looking if the version is actually not in Fedora already. It is looking on the Bugzilla if there is Bugzilla created for it actually, or if it should create one. If there is, it actually doing the rebasing, so it's or not rebasing. It's doing the RPM bump. It's bumping the version in RPM and sends the patch, attaches the patch to the Bugzilla issue. This is something that I want to actually make more automatic with creating directly PR in Pagure, which is work in progress. It's using Packet for this, so it will be. I think it will be more friendly for the users, because you will actually see in your this Git repository or your source repository there is new version, and it will actually create a patch that you can merge if it's good. It's not doing any complex or any complex action. It's just updating the version. So you need to check if everything is working. If it will be combined with the Fedora CI, it will be much nicer. So I need to think more about if you want to have specific version to specific branch in your Git repository, to have some configuration. I'm not sure, did Packet try to think about it? If you have plenty of branches and you want to watch only some versions prefix in some branches.
I don't follow at all.
Okay, so for example, you have branches for Fedora 28, Fedora 29, Fedora 30, and you want only the major version changes to the Fedora 30, and for Fedora 29 you want to have only versions 2 point something. So if there is some kind of mapping for this, so you know where you actually want to the Packet to create the PR against which branch.
So you can set it up in the config that.
Yeah, but the config is on the upstream side.
Yes.
Yeah. So we need to think about something else, because we don't have access to the upstream. Okay. So, any other question?
Just a note about it. I think on the previous slide of summer, getting rid of the Bugzilla. I actually find it quite useful to have Bugzilla for new versions.
This is something in consideration. So it could be removed. For now, it's better to keep it, because even if we are filling the PRs directly to the distgit, it's better to keep the Bugzilla, because it will be much nicer even for those who want to only watch for the Bugzilla updates. Okay.
I was just curious about the rate limiting on the GitHub side. How much are we paying for the actual rate limiting, and how much we have to pay for higher, rate limits? And possibly, were you thinking about creating a GitHub app which would be subscribed to the set of projects, and then only like read the events by API?
Okay, so yeah, I should repeat the question. Question was how the GitHub rate limiting is working and how it costs, how much it costs if you want higher rate limits, and if there is possibility to create an app that is actually watching for events. Okay, so I didn't look at the cost because most of the issue is on the Anitya side, because we are checking every project from the beginning to end, so we are just taking too much. When we do the optimization and we still hit the rate limiting, we will ask about it. I think the CentOS CI actually had similar issue with hitting the rate limit. I need to ask someone from the CentOS CI team.
Yeah, they resolved it like the other way, so they switched to event-based figures.
Okay. This I'm not sure if this will be doable for us, because we have I'm not sure. I think the Anitya has 15,000 or 20,000 projects, and most of them are GitHub. So I'm not sure if watching for events for that much application is actually doable. So, but I think it will be possible to actually use libraries IO. They have SSE, so you can actually watch for any new. So we have 2 minutes left.
Is there a means to use GitHub notification instead of putting repository for when there is new release on GitHub?
Okay, the question is if you can use GitHub notifications for the new releases. There is issue that some projects are not doing releases. Only some of them does. So it's not really something you could count on. And there are even some projects that are doing releases, that are not doing releases, that are not tagging, but are having new versions. I didn't find out how to actually find out what version they have, because they don't actually have anywhere listed this. So yeah, but this is only, I found one project that is working like this. It's creating new version, but it's not, there is no tag, there is no release, but the version is somewhere. I was surprised when I found out this one. Otherwise, as I said, we are just trying a new approach which will allow you to actually watch for the releases instead of tags, because right now we are only checking tags on the GitHub. Some of the projects tagging most interesting things. Sometimes they are tagging some releases, which is fine, but sometimes you can find a tag that is look like a mistake by someone, not really tag that should tag something. So okay, we have 5 p.m. So if you want to ask me anything, I will be here. So thank you for your attention. Here is a reference. You can look at it. It's actually my community blog posts, which I am doing for the risk monitoring. It's done in the wizard way, so it's not really a technical one, or it's technical, but it's in fantasy way written. So if you want to loud when reading blog posts, then you can actually look there. So thank you.